I decided I wanted to talk about all this Genshin drama because, you know, I used to play the game a ton. I still follow it every now and then, and I just wanted to give my 2 cents on the subject of how good or bad it is or isn't compared to what it could be, or how it is compared to Honkai Star Rail. And generally speaking, I've seen the overall take slash like opinion that Genshin is just flat out better than Honkai Star Rail in most ways, and I feel like that is just wrong. Because I feel like the Honkai Star Rail, they're pretty similar in a lot of ways, right? But Honkai Star Rail just does more things that I personally and a lot of people would prefer. Before I say anything else, I should go ahead and state that I think Genshin Impact is fine. I don't think it's fair to say that it is 100% like the worst, because absolutely it is not that. For you to say it's like literally the worst, you'd have to like are the visuals the worst thing ever? Is the music and audio the worst thing ever? Is story writing terrible? No, it is not. It's a little more nuanced than yes or no for me. I think a lot of times the story is like, I think 90% of the story for Genshin Impact is filler. It's mostly filler. And the stuff that isn't filler is great. It's just the rest of it, that 90% of it that isn't the actual important stuff, is kind of god awful, because they make it take super long to tell anything. They have like Paimon like repeat things or like reiterate the fact that she loves food like a million times. It's just not very good. At least not for me. But like, I like Fontaine's story. So I mean, like, I like that part of it. I mean, of course I like it a little bit. I can enjoy it. But then, like, again, like I said, like things like audio and music. It's got great audio and music. Like, the sound effects are great. Soundtracks for like the various bosses and battle themes for different regions, and it's great. It's good. Ultimate reason why people say they don't like it is because they take their good foundation for a gameplay system and they don't really do that much with it. They have Spiral Abyss, they have some events, but once you've gotten to the point where you can beat Spiral Abyss, which shouldn't take you too long, that's kind of it. Like, there's nothing else to really, strive for. You've already beaten like the hardest thing. So it's like, okay, are they going to add anything else? Are they going to update it to make it more difficult, maybe? And so far, the answer seems to be generally no. I mean, there have been some times where Spiral Abyss is like slightly harder than previous ones, but for the most part, it's just not really changed that much since release. And you remember, like, most of the events, some of them are combat events, but they're usually pretty easy. Doesn't require like end game levels of investment, and a lot of them boring, meaningless minigame type events. Like, a lot of them feel like Mario Party wannabes, or like some weird game mode that doesn't feel good to play or something. So it's all very meh. The combat isn't really going anywhere, which, again, if you're just starting out, that's fine. You still have plenty of stuff to build for, to farm for, and work towards, because you're not at anywhere near like the point where you beat it. But for like the majority of their audience that probably has gotten to the point where they can easily beat Spiral Abyss, it's like, well, what's left? There's nothing left. And when you compare it to, I mean, okay, and before I go into Honkai Star Rail, one last thing for Genshin Impact is the fact that their reward system feels non-existent when you compare it to other gacha games. It feels very minimalistic. Like, people say like you can explore to get primo gems to get premium currency to spawn the banners and whatnot. But that's very time consuming. And even then, when you do take the time to do it, it's still usually less than what I'm gonna use Honkai Star Rail as an example. It's still generally less than what you would get from something like Honkai Star Rail with all of its ways to get premium currency, and it's different than various other ones too. It's hard to come up with examples off the top of my head, but if you've had tried gacha games before, you'll know in general that Genshin just does not feel as generous. I mean, even if it's only a minor difference, it's still a difference. It just doesn't feel as good. Then, like, recently, the drama, right, that's inspired me to talk about in the first place, is that they decided they were only going to give 3 polls for their oh so very important lantern right. I guess that's like the thank you for 3 years of support for their game, right? And at the time of this recording, I don't know if they've changed that, if they've like addressed it or anything. So this could become very outdated real quickly. But very least right now, as I'm recording this, they've done nothing to change it, so they're giving you what feels like nothing as a thank you. So it's like, okay, great, thanks for literally nothing. And then you go over to the company's other game, Honkai Star Rail, and it's like their last patch, which wasn't even for like any special event. It wasn't for the anniversary. It wasn't for Chinese New Year, nothing like that. This patch that we're on right now, 1.6, gives you a free Dr. Ratio, a limited 5-star character, like an actual fully fledged premium character. They just gave it to you as thank you for your support of the game. And it's like, wow, that is, for a gacha game, that is a huge reward. And it feels awesome. Especially since he is actually really good. He's not like some trash garbage unit like Aloy got, like Aloy for Genshin Impact, however many years ago she was released. Aloy is like the only character they've ever a quote-unquote 5-star character that isn't like the main character. It's like the only character they've given out, and she's terrible. She's like one of the worst characters in the game, at the very least, compared to like the alternative options, the other ice DPS options. So they give Honkai Star Rail gives Dr. Ratio for free for your support as a thank you. But then on top of that, this upcoming patch, 2.0, they decided, hey, you know what? We'll give you, like, not only will we give you the usual 10 pulls that we always give in every patch, just for logging in, we'll give you another 10 just for logging in. Just as, just a thank you for Chinese New Year, to celebrate 2.0, whatever the reasons were being that they decided to do this. They're like, hey, have a total of 20 polls just for you on the house, just for playing. Thank you very much. And it's like, by comparison, because again, it's not like the gacha system is different or something. It's not like you need like 150 polls to get a 5-star character. No, it's the same amount of polls for both games to get a 5-star character. Just one game decided to give you like almost 7 times the amount. I mean, I guess Genshin Impact has the login event too, so I guess it's not 7 times as much. But at the very least, it's 3 times as much for like the extra reward beyond just the regular login event. And it's like, so they give way more wishes out. They give like actual good characters out. Genshin Impact is, I guess, getting the 4-star character this patch, right? Who cares about a 4-star character? I mean, Genshin Impact at this point has its like set meta characters. And unless they decided to release a 4-star that's literally like as good, if not better, than like a 5-star character, or a character that just completely reshapes meta, I guess, no 4-star character you get will actually perform anywhere close to like the other teams you could have. So it's like, it feels like it's basically nothing, and it might just be because Genshin's older. If the game's been out longer, it's introduced more 5 stars, it's introduced more 4 stars. If they introduce a new character, especially if it's only a 4-star character, it kind of just feels like you probably already have a character that does the same thing, maybe better. So it's like, well, what's the point? And that could just be a symptom of, you know, age for a gacha game. Gacha games tend to fall off as the years go on. So, you know, Genshin's on its 4th year. So, like, I'm pretty sure, like, it's maybe it's not totally fair to compare the two because of that. But it doesn't change the fact that these are 2 gacha games made by the same company. Different teams, I know, but it's the same company. And from the very beginning, Honkai Star Rail has been way more generous than Genshin was in the beginning. It's almost like they, like, took everything that people wanted for Genshin and put it into Honkai Star Rail. So it's almost like the company itself doesn't like Genshin. So they're like, it feels like they're making choices that in turn like encourage you to start hating their game too. It's just weird. I don't get it. And, you know, ironically, I saw that the statistics for like how much money Genshin made versus Honkai Star Rail for this last month of January. It saw that like Genshin was beating Honkai Star Rail, which I also don't get. It's like, how? Like, I think I only assume that it's because they gave out the free 5-star, so no one had a reason to spend any money on his banner. That's like the only reason I could think of for why it didn't do better. It's like the reason it didn't do better is because they're being more generous. It's just ridiculous. And, you know, if that wasn't enough, something else Honkai Star Rail is getting that Genshin never gets is like updates to like end-game type content. Genshin Impact, as far as I know, they're still on. It's been a while since I played it, right? So it's been like 3 or 4 weeks since I've even like looked at it. As far as I know, they still only have Spiral Abyss. Meanwhile, Honkai Star Rail, it's been getting updates to its simulated universe, you know, the expansions. And I still have not, like, my character is pretty well built, and I'm still nowhere near close to beating the maximum difficulty of Golden Gears, the latest expansion. So they've had, they have like the first expansion released back in 1.3. That was Swarm Disaster. That was great. 1.6 they released Golden Gears. Again, that was great. They also released Pure Fiction, which not as good as Memory of Chaos in my opinion, but it's still great. It's still something, some kind of renewable endgame type content that they're adding to the game. Memory of Chaos has always been great in my opinion. Like, I don't know, the game, if I'm comparing the two, Honkai Star Rail just feels better. It like plays better. Like, it's like a better mobile game too, because you don't have to worry about, you know, the freaking mobile controls on like an action game. It's just a turn-based game, so it's like easier to control on mobile in my opinion. So like, it feels better in almost every single way. Like, I think the only real difference you could say would make Genshin maybe better is if you just prefer action-based games, which, you know, if that's your preference, then yeah, I guess Genshin is better, I guess, for you. But even then, it's like, you can't deny that, like, it's been getting what feels like zero love for, like, maybe the entire time since it's launched. Because Honkai Star Rail, it's like their baby or something. It's like their favorite child. They just love it more than they love Genshin, so they just want to give it more to make people love it more, I guess. It's just kind of absurd to me. Yeah, but no, I think Genshin needs a lot of work. I think, like, I don't know, maybe if they wanted to like smooth things over faster, just give out a 5-star character, okay? I mean, they make plenty of money, obviously. You can just give a 5-star character here and there, okay? Make everyone happy with it. You would encourage people to come back, just get the character. Or like, you know, if you don't want to do that, then I don't know, maybe take a patch to, instead of like reusing or adding meaningless mini-game content, add something to freaking Spiral Abyss. Make it make it a bit harder, maybe add some alternative type game mode or something. Again, it's like, it can't be that hard to do, and surely if, you know, if the major concern they have is something they said a while back of like, oh, they don't want to add endgame content because they don't want to stress people out. I mean, okay, fine, but like, I don't know, at least make the attempt, I guess. I mean, Jesus. Surely the fact that Spiral Abyss still exists is enough for you to be like, if that really was all they cared about, they just want to create casual, you know, Mario Party knockoff minigames, then why haven't they gotten rid of Spiral Abyss? Why did they, you know, change characters like Zhongli a while back to make him more meta viable? You know, it's like, they clearly can change things. They just choose not to for some reason. Genshin needs to try a little harder. Honkai Star Rail, you're doing great. Keep it up. I'm not sure if anyone actually, like, I have no following, so I don't know if anyone's actually going to watch this or not. But if you did, thank you for watching to the end, and I hope you enjoyed 2.0 like I will.